Good morning. I am your host, Wanda L. Scott, and this is a time where I share a mindset pivot so we can thrive and not just survive mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Welcome to Thrive Thursdays. Are you ready to thrive? I know you are. And since this month is National Women's History Month, and Tuesday the 8th was International Women's Day, woohoo! We're celebrating, and we're going to be celebrating all month women. And so, in honor of National Women's History Month, my Thrive Thursdays are going to be around what causes women not to thrive. So every Thursday this month, starting with this episode number 6, we're looking at things that stop women from thriving. And guess what? We're just going to talk about it mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So, personally, and I know many other women in industries feel unseen and unheard. We feel like we're pulled from and very seldom replenished. And we are past time for change. So, what do we do about that? When we think about pivoting, when we think about changing perspectives, I want to dedicate this episode to a group that I've been a part of, but I love the work that they do. Be Wise, Black Women in Science and Engineering, and organizations like WIT. I've been associated with WIT Nashville and WIT here in the DC Metro Virginia area. These are organizations that focus on highlighting women in sciences and technology, which is the area I came out of and the area that I grew up in. And so many of my experiences of feeling unseen and unheard stem from times in IT when I was a network engineer being looked past and looked over and not being heard, saying the same thing that a man said before he said it, and then being spoken over and acted like they weren't the words that I said. So I have done many talks with groups of women, and this is a common feeling, being unseen and unheard when we are awesome. Women are awesome across every field, and we have value and input. And I thought about the segment this morning. I could give you a whole bunch of statistics, but you're seeing plenty of that this month around women's equity in pay, and just across the board, and promotions and leadership, and especially the effects during the pandemic. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to kind of speak from the heart, because this is really a point where I just want to shine some light and help to change perspective just by speaking about it. And it's not just something that I want to speak about to talk about me, but to talk about how very real it is. I was in the industry. I stopped being a network engineer in way back in 2005. Then I went into higher education and I taught networking, network security, Microsoft Server. And it's very interesting, the perspectives, even being a college professor as a Black woman teaching these highly technical things. I could see the doubt in people's eyes that I really knew what I was talking about. And it was interesting. But coming out of corporate America, that was a walk. That was a cool breeze. But now I'm experiencing my students who I taught in the classroom, who are in the industry now. And the disheartening thing that calls for what I showed earlier, a time for a change, is that 15 years later, they're still experiencing the same unseen, unheard type of feelings that I experienced so long ago. And so it comes a point where we stop having to talk about it, where there's action taken, where there's intentional action to move past the patriarchal society where women used to be property and women couldn't be leaders and women weren't supposed to be in certain fields. And so on this Thrive Thursday, I want to highlight the fact that one thing that stops women from thriving is when they're unseen and unheard for all of their value, all of the wonderful intellectual things that they bring to the table, all of the wonderful emotional intelligence that they bring to the table, all of their enthusiasm, all of their creative ideas, everything that women bring. When we are unseen and unheard, when we are looked past, when we are pulled from for what we bring, but never acknowledged about it, this causes women not to thrive. But we are not going to continue to just survive in corporate jobs and positions in certain industries. We are going to thrive. And I see so many women thriving and accomplishing that. And I want to applaud you for thriving in the midst of. I want to applaud you for all of your ingenuity and your intelligence and your emotional intelligence and how you never quit and your resilience. So this morning on Thrive Thursday, women, I applaud you for the times when you were surviving and then you switched to thriving, for when you didn't give up and you kept moving up, when you opened the door for the person behind you, the other woman of color, the other Black woman coming behind you, that you set the standard. And I thank you for your shine. I thank you for your thrive, because it's one thing I know: we women will not stop until there is a change. So thank you. I know that this is just a moment to shine the light, to change a perspective, so we can highlight things that stop women this month in Women's History Month, that stop women from thriving, and so make sure that they're not just surviving. So this has been Thrive Thursdays, streaming live every Thursday at 9 a.m. Follow me on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Follow, like, and connect with me. Leave comments in this post wherever you're seeing me. I want to hear from you. Women, I'm giving you a shout out. Let me know if any of this connected with you, and I'll see you next week on Thrive Thursday. Happy Women's History Month.